Of what?
Something that's not supposed to be here.
It looks like after a long wait, we finally have a meaningful update on Constantine 2 from Keanu Reeves, and it's a pretty exciting development for fans. Long before the MCU or even the current DCEU structure existed, the 2005 Constantine movie was one of those unique comic book adaptations that gained a devoted following over time. While it wasn't a huge box office hit when it first came out, it eventually became a cult classic, and fans have been hoping for a sequel ever since. Now, after years of speculation and development issues, Reeves has shared some news that suggests the project might actually be moving forward. In a recent Fandango interview, Keanu Reeves was asked about the status of the sequel, and his answer was optimistic without being overly revealing. He said, "Fingers crossed, another draft of the script came in. We're going to take it to the studio and hopefully they like it too." It's a small comment, but it's significant because it shows that work on the script is actively happening and that Reeves is still deeply involved in the process. At 61, he's still clearly passionate about returning to the role of John Constantine and making sure the sequel captures the essence of what made the first movie special. The journey toward Constantine 2 has been longer than many fans expected, and part of that is due to Reeves' high standards for the script. Earlier this year, in May 2025, Peter Stormare, who played Lucifer in the first film, revealed that Reeves wasn't completely happy with the scripts he had seen so far. According to Stormare, Reeves wants the sequel to stay true to the original's tone, which was more about spiritual horror, demons, and grounded supernatural themes. Rather than the high-octane action the studio initially envisioned, Stormare explained that studios often push for over-the-top spectacle, like cars flying or extreme stunts, but Reeves wants to preserve the first movie's dark, moody atmosphere. He feels that the story should focus on John Constantine as a character rather than turning the sequel into a generic action film. This tension between Reeves' vision and the studio's expectations makes a lot of sense, especially considering what the first movie eventually became. While the original Constantine wasn't a huge hit at the box office, it slowly gained a massive cult following, which speaks to the lasting appeal of Reeves' portrayal. Reeves clearly wants to honor that legacy by keeping the sequel grounded and true to the character, instead of shifting towards something that would feel disconnected from the original. With this latest script draft, things seem to be heading in the right direction. It's still early, of course, and the film will ultimately depend on how DC Studios responds to the script. From what we know, Constantine 2 is being developed under the Elseworlds banner, which means it exists in its own continuity separate from the main DC universe that James Gunn is building. While that allows more creative freedom, it also means the sequel will need to stand on its own and feel like a complete, polished story to get the green light. The Elseworlds label is a double-edged sword. It provides flexibility, but it also means the bar for quality is extremely high because it's a unique standalone experience. Keanu Reeves' update is exciting not just because it signals progress, but because it shows how much he cares about the role. He's been deeply attached to Constantine for nearly 2 decades, and the idea of revisiting the character after all this time is thrilling for fans. Considering DC Studios' interest in Elseworlds properties, there's also a lot of room to expand the character in creative ways. If this script lands well, it could finally allow production to begin, giving Reeves a chance to reprise a role that has clearly stayed with him over the years. It's also interesting to think about how Reeves' version of John Constantine differs from other interpretations. While Matt Ryan's portrayal in the Arrowverse is closer to the comic book version, Reeves brought his own unique flair to the character, a blend of world-weariness, cynicism, and dark charm that made the role memorable. Seeing him return, especially if the script stays true to the first film's tone, could give fans the best of both worlds: continuity with the original movie and a fresh, updated take on the character. Part of what makes the current update so promising is the connection to James Gunn's standards at DC Studios. Gunn has been clear that for an Elseworlds project to move forward, the script needs to be exceptional. He recently spoke about a very famous movie actor who pitched an Elseworlds story, explaining that the project would only happen if the screenplay is truly top-notch. Gunn emphasized that quality control is critical for these standalone projects and that they shouldn't be rushed or compromised just to capitalize on a recognizable actor or character. The parallels between Gunn's comments and Reeves' situation are obvious. Reeves reportedly isn't satisfied with the current Constantine 2 scripts and wants the story to maintain the original film's tone rather than bend toward typical blockbuster action. That mirrors Gunn's insistence that only a masterpiece of a script will move forward. It seems very likely that Reeves is the actor Gunn referred to, pitching an Elseworlds project while continuing to refine the screenplay to meet the high bar. The challenge now is clear. Constantine 2 can happen, but it has to be done right. Reeves' perfectionism and DC Studios' quality standards set a high bar, meaning the project won't simply proceed just because the character is popular. This is why the back and forth over the script has taken so long. Studios often push for flashy spectacle, but Reeves wants something that feels authentic to the character, which requires careful planning and development. That said, the fact that another draft of the script has arrived and Reeves is still committed is a positive sign. It suggests that negotiations between Reeves and DC are ongoing, and that everyone involved is taking the time to ensure the sequel will be a worthy follow-up. Fans can take some comfort in knowing that the project isn't dead, but rather in a thoughtful, deliberate stage of development. The Elseworlds approach also gives the film flexibility. Because it won't be tied to the main DC Universe timeline, the creative team can explore darker, more mature themes without worrying about continuity conflicts with other DCU projects. This could allow Constantine 2 to feel like a true supernatural thriller, just like the original. And considering Reeves' dedication to the role, it's easy to imagine a film that balances the mystical, psychological, and action-driven elements in a way that honors the first movie while still feeling modern. It's worth noting that Reeves' involvement is crucial here. He's not just a returning star, he's an actor who has spent years cultivating his craft and building credibility in both action and dramatic roles. Keanu Reeves reprising his role in a well-crafted Constantine 2 could finally give the character the big-screen continuation he deserves, and with all the pieces seemingly in place, it's an exciting time to imagine what this long-awaited sequel could look like. And that's that for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one.